You Hoops Nation, James Mooney here with Corin Chesterton of our Westchester League.
The semifinals machine in the house.
Semifinals in the book. First game went like we expected.
The playoff beard predicted the upset.
Put it this way, I thought it was going to be a blowout. I really did, but there were some unfortunate circumstances for Massa Coastal, and our prayers, our condolences, everything. Our hearts are with Nia Messica and his family during this time.
Yeah, tough situation to play under.
So it's definitely a tough situation for Massa. Steve playing with a partially torn quad muscle.
Yeah, very
Adam Krause, calf, he was out. Guys were banged up. They were shorthanded. They weren't.
Still were in it the whole game, and
I know.
Shout out to McBuckets for pulling the upset, like I called. I think I said 6 or 7 point victory.
4 or 5 points.
5-point victory. Steve Cohen hit huge shots down the stretch.
Steve Rodriguez
hit huge shots plus clutch free throws down the stretch.
Mike Egan going 2 for 2 from the line when they needed it with under 30 seconds left, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I mean, the game was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty back and forth, 3 after 3, but then, there was a dry spell. Guys were missing shots like crazy. Just everyone. Doug, everyone, anyone. Steve went cold. But again, Steve was hurt, so...
Steve was hurt, and he was trying hard to pull his team to victory, but McBuckets, man, props to them, because they really wanted to win. They've been working hard the past 2 seasons to...
It was the best game I've seen McBuckets play all 3 seasons, and I mean that. It was a total team effort. They were knocking down open shots like they were supposed to.
Hitting clutch shots at the right moments.
And they defended Steve well. I mean, again, Steve wasn't 100%, but it's not an excuse. It is what it is.
Doug played great defense on him.
Doug played great defense, and you know what? When he went to the basket, they fouled him. They fouled him hard.
Yep.
And they banged him up, even though he was banged up already. I mean, you do what you have to do. This is basketball, man. This is playoff basketball. You do whatever you have to do in order to win and advance.
They're experienced. They know when to foul. They know when they had the clipboard out, marker board out. McBuckets, they're a good team. It's going into our championship. They're gonna have a tough time. But
so, speaking of championship, we had our second game of our semifinals. We had Pippen and Easy versus Bombers. As expected, Bombers just ran away with the show. We had a fire drill in the middle of our game with about 13 minutes left in the second half. We didn't know how long the game would be delayed.
The guy still wanted to play through the fire drill. We had to.
But truthfully, the game was won for Bombers before that even happened.
Yeah, Munch set a 30-point spread on the game. I think they won by 20-something. It was fairly close. I mean, but then Bombers just ran away with it at the end. They were too much in it.
Everyone played. Everyone got good amount of minutes, got touches, got shots, whatever the case may be. But good season 2. Pippen,
And Massa too.
I think they have a lot of key players, free agents that they can pick up and really, really change that team.
Transactions need to be done. Get on the phone, call Clampett, call Francis.
So listen, let's not waste any time. We had the championship game. We had this on the line. We have the banner on the line. We have a Northeast playoff championship on the line.
Our first new
champion will be crowned. So let's get right to it. We have Massa Coastal versus Bombers.
Bombers
undefeated. What'd I say?
Massa. This two was Massa in the championship.
Here we go again.
Bombers versus McBuckets.
Bombers versus McBuckets. Bombers are 9-0 at this point because they won today. McBuckets, here's the thing. McBuckets had a very close game. They won. They're confident. They're going. They had a closely fought game. Bombers had a lackadaisical game. So it's like Massa's rolling. They have good momentum going into the championship.
McBuckets, you see how much he hates you guys? He keeps calling you Massa Coastal. This guy's got no love for you. I see where you're going. They're playing well.
Am I about to have like a stroke? I must be losing my mind.
They're riding a high right now. But this was a good little test of the playoffs for the Bombers, though, I'll say. It got their feet wet of the playoffs, and Tim Munch shook off his nerves a little bit. Because that guy usually chokes in the playoffs. I saw him airball that shot in the second half. That could be foreshadowing of what happens in the championship game. I don't know.
Listen, no comment there, but I like
McBuckets.
I like what they were able to do today. It's a huge win. Now they feel like, man, we took Massa down.
2-time defending champion.
We beat Goliath.
Yeah.
Bombers is like yeah, they're the best team in it now, but they don't have a history behind them.
Yeah.
So Bombers had an easy game. McBuckets didn't. So who do you like in the championship?
I gotta go with the Bombers. They're solid, man. What is it, Kevin Fleming?
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud. Like, he's solid. He just plays his role. You never hear him say anything. He subs out when he wants to sub out. Joe Parati
Went 3 for 3 tonight.
He comes in the game, like, same thing. He'll sub in. If somebody wants to come out, he'll come out. Like, these guys
He's a good teammate.
These
He's
guys,
a great teammate.
They're all good teammates. They don't care about minutes
and touches,
all that
yeah,
stuff. Like,
yeah.
even when they put their second unit in, they let them go, even if the other team starts making a run. Eventually, Munch or Kirk and Dane, they'll come back in the game eventually. But they're not afraid to let their second unit play and sit out and rest. They mesh well together. I just see them being too much for McBuckets to handle. Even though McBuckets is gritty and they'll try and make it a physical game, you can't get physical with Tim Munch. Dane's strong, you can't get physical with him. Stephen Neville's the only guy that's really like a tough body, but he's 53 years old, and it's coming off the 2 days rest.
That's a good point, but here's the deal. McBuckets is a team that gets in your head.
They do.
Doug will chirp in your ear. He'll do stuff. Sam Cohen has no problem mixing it up. You have guys that could really affect your game.
You're right.
So it's like, will Tim keep us cool? Will Dane keep us cool? Will the physicality that the McBuckets play with cause the Bombers to maybe settle for outside shots? And if those aren't full, it's a championship game, man. There's going to be nerves. McBuckets has been there before.
You're right.
And they're sick of losing. So it's like, this is the first time for Bombers. Maybe it's tough love. I mean, I'm going to go with McBuckets.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
this is the only way I see McBuckets winning, is if they contain Bombers in the early going. If the Bombers come out and just take it, 16-4 or 23-7, game over.
I agree.
If they keep it close the beginning of the game and it's 12-14 or halftime is 23-21, then they have a shot, because then they're feeling the Bombers out. The Bombers can't get on a little spurt. It all depends on if the Bombers come out and they're ready to go. If they start slow, it'll be a problem for the whole game. They have to come out ready to go and really turn it up early.
Yeah,
I see that happening, and I see the Bombers coming out ready to go, putting their foot to the pedal right from the get-go.
See, I kind of see the opposite. I see McBuckets coming out on fire, but the thing is with McBuckets, they can do that, but the Bombers can claw back. I don't know if McBuckets has the same ability to. If they're down, I don't know if they have the ability to climb back into it. That's the difference. I think
McBuckets needs to get hot to start. Today, Doug went 3 for 3 to start, and that was huge for them.
And if he goes, it affected the whole team.
It affects the whole team. So if Doug goes 1 for 3 there and they start missing, it all changes. I think they had a perfect start tonight, which really contributed to the win. I don't see them having a perfect start against the Bombers. If they miss a couple shots, it all changes. Mueller starts going coast to coast, missing some layups. I see the Bombers being too much too early for them.
So I'm calling it. McBuckets are going to win.
Wait, McBuckets or Massacosta?
McBuckets.
All right.
You think Bombers. I'm going to go with McBuckets winning around 79-75. That sort of game.
That would really be good for them. Bombers win handily. 67-52. Even though it's not that handily.
Yeah. Low scoring.
Low scoring game. Championship game is always low scoring. It's not going to get crazy.
So we got Thursday night, 8 o'clock here in Westchester. First new champion in 3 seasons that we'll be crowning. So it'll be nice to see a different name on the wall.
Looks like Tim Munch's head.
Yeah, but it's not as red.
Yeah, that's true.
So, James Mooney.
Corin.
See you Thursday.